What USAID does is many different, very important things. It provides support to global health so that we can eradicate diseases like HIV/AIDS, like Ebola, like bird flu, like COVID, that not just threaten people abroad, but threaten us here in the United States because diseases know no borders. And as we learned through the pandemic, if it can start someplace, it'll end up with us. USAID funds efforts to prevent and deter terrorism around the world, including, for example, paying to support the guards who are holding ISIS prisoners in Syria. USAID provides life-saving humanitarian aid, including food aid, to people who are starving around the world. You may say, well, why do we care about people starving around the world? Well, where people are starving, there is violence, there is conflict, there are refugee flows, there is migration, all of which ultimately affects the United States. But I imagine that most people don't know that the food aid that we provide in Africa and Latin America and Asia and elsewhere predominantly comes from American farmers in places like Kansas and all over the heartland. And we pay American farmers from USAID and Food for Peace to produce this food that we then send abroad. So there are thousands and thousands of American jobs in the farm sector, in the health sector, in the NGO sector that are being lost because of the freeze of funds from USAID. The Trump administration literally cutting off every single dollar, putting a stop work order, firing or putting on administrative leave thousands of workers, American workers, does nothing but harm the United States and help our adversaries. Why do you think Vladimir Putin hates USAID and kicked it out of Russia? Why does Xi Jinping prevent any such programs inside of China? It's because our support for civil society, for democracy organizations, for journalists, for human rights defenders all over the world, which comes from USAID, undermines authoritarianism and empowers the democratic opposition.